Okay, picture this. It's the 1986 Memorial Tournament. Jack Nicklaus, he's just weeks off winning his sixth Masters at 46 years old, which was just incredible.
A huge moment.
Huge. And he's playing with Peter Jacobsen and Andy Bean. The crowd, well, it's absolutely electric, following their local hero.
Understandably.
And Nicklaus is on fire, sinking birdie after birdie, 10, 11, 12, 13. The roar is just deafening.
Wow.
They get to the 14th green. Andy Bean putts out. Now it's Nicklaus's turn. He's away. But he turns to Jacobsen and says, Peter, do you want to go ahead and putt out?
Wait, even though he's further away?
Exactly. Jacobsen is totally incredulous. Why would I want to putt out, Jack? You're away.
Right.
And Nicklaus just gives this calm, confident smile and says, because when I make this putt, the people here are going to go crazy.
Yeah.
And then, yep, you guessed it. He sinks the putt. Place goes nuts.
That's just amazing confidence.
It is, isn't it? And that right there, it's not just about incredible skill. It's a profound demonstration of an unshakable mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So today, we're taking a deep dive into that, into the extraordinary power of the mind in performance. We're drawing lessons from top athletes like Nicklaus, Greg Norman, Sam Snead.
The legends.
Absolutely. Our mission really is to unpack what mental toughness actually means, how these champions built that seemingly rock-solid confidence. And crucially, how you can take these insights and build your own resilient mindset, whether that's, at work, learning something new, or, even staring down a tricky putt.
Well, what's fascinating here, I think, is how these stories, they aren't just about raw talent, are they? It's about this deep, almost palpable internal belief.
Yeah.
And it really brings up a big question for all of us, not just elite athletes. Is this kind of confidence just something you're born with, that only a few people have? Or is it something we can actually cultivate, something we can develop over time, no matter what we do?
That's the core question, really.
And we're going to explore exactly that, the science behind it, but also the practical side. How do you build that inner strength?
Absolutely. And, Nicklaus, he seemed to have a real knack for these kinds of psychological moments. Tom Weiskopf tells a similar story from the 73 Ryder Cup. Weiskopf and Nicklaus both hit their balls pretty close on a hole. Jack's maybe 10 feet. Tom is even closer, like 5-6 feet.
Okay.
So Weiskopf goes to mark his ball, right? Assuming he'll putt first because he's closer.
Makes sense.
And Nicklaus just looks at him and says, pick it up.
Just like that.
Just like that. Tom, again, totally stunned, asks, what, Jack, are you kidding me? And Nicklaus, cool as anything, just replies, I'm going to sink mine.
Wow. The certainty.
So Weiskopf picks up his ball, stands back, and sure enough, Jack just rams it right into the center of the cup.
Unbelievable.
Both these stories, they really highlight Nicklaus's core philosophy, especially for putting. He basically said, it's all in the mind. Believe you can knock them in the hole and you'll knock them in. Believe you can't and you won't.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it sounds incredibly simple, doesn't it? Almost too simple. Is it really just about belief?
It does sound deceptively simple, yeah. And that's a really good question to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's crucial to add here, to really get Nicklaus's genius, is that his immense confidence, well, it wasn't built in a vacuum. It wasn't separate from solid fundamentals. It was built on top of them. He wasn't just, wishing the ball into the hole.
Right.
He also talked a lot about specific mechanical keys for putting. Things like getting equal grip pressure in both hands, keeping it steady through the stroke, having your eyes right over the target line, finding a natural stroke that works for you.
So the belief was grounded.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
His belief was deeply rooted in just hours and hours of diligent practice, mastering his craft. He believed in his mechanics, and that belief is what fueled his mental game.
Okay, so it's not blind faith then. It's faith built on really solid practice fundamentals. How does that map onto other things? Like, say you're trying to master new software for work or prep for a big presentation.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just believe you'll ace it without putting in the hours, right?
Precisely. I mean, in pretty much any field, confidence comes from that mix of competence and conviction. You do the work, you hone your skills. You really understand the material that builds your base.
Right.
The mental part then acts like an amplifier for that base. It's the difference between knowing you can technically do something and truly believing you will do it, especially when the pressure's on.
Yeah, okay.
It's about recalling those past successes, even the small ones, and telling yourself, okay, I've handled stuff like this before. I've got the skills to navigate this one too.
It's that combination that makes it so potent. And it wasn't just Nicklaus with this almost audacious I can win attitude.
No, definitely not.
Take Robert James. His rookie year, 1990 PGA Tour, he actually said, quote, I feel I can win anytime. If I play good, I should win.
Wow.
And he added, people see me as cocky because I walk to the tee like I'm better than everybody. I'm just walking with a lot of confidence.
That's quite a statement for a rookie.
Right. Or David Faraday. He had a successful pro career, then obviously became this huge commentator, but he was never a youth champion. His mother apparently called his drive blind ambition.
Huh. Interesting.
These guys, they didn't just hope. They really believed they could succeed.
These examples, they really connect to this idea that confidence isn't just like an on-off switch, or something you're just born with.
Yeah.
It's built incrementally, small steps. And it's often rooted in this deep belief in your overall capability, your total game, not just one shot or one task.
Right.
You see that with players like Day Stockton, Greg Norman.
Yeah.
They just radiated this belief. Even Ben Crenshaw, after a 2-year winless spell, when he finally got back in contention, he said it was like riding a bike. He just told himself, you've been there before, you can do this.
Drawing on past experience.
Exactly. It's about building up that internal library of success, pulling out those memories, and applying that self-knowledge to whatever you're facing now.
Okay, but if confidence is so critical, maybe 60, 70% of the mental game, like some say, what are we doing wrong? How are we undermining it, maybe without even noticing?
No, that's the flip side.
Sam Snead, another legend, he absolutely nailed it. He said, what you feed attention grows. And I think this is key to understanding how we accidentally sabotage our own confidence.
It really is. And this tendency, well, it often starts super early in life. It becomes a really ingrained habit.
How so?
Well, think about our early conditioning, right? As kids, how often were we told what we did wrong versus being praised for what we did right?
Probably more often told what was wrong.
Yeah. Or in school, teachers often put the number wrong at the top of the paper. They seldom highlight the number correct. So we start to internalize this. It literally shapes our internal dialogues, how we talk to ourselves, and our whole perception of what we're capable of. And this isn't just, a hunch. Studies in developmental psychology actually show this. A consistent focus on deficits can lead to a fixed mindset where you just believe your abilities are stuck.
That's so relatable, isn't it? I mean, think about this. You have a great day at work, 7 hours, 55 minutes go brilliantly. Everything's smooth, hitting your targets.
Okay.
Then boom, 90 seconds, a small problem pops up that your boss notices. What do you think your supervisor is going to focus on in your next review?
Probably the 90 seconds.
Right. And more importantly, what are you going to be dwelling on at the end of the day, despite all the good stuff?
Yeah, the problem usually sticks.
We're just kind of unwittingly taught from way back to take success for granted and magnify failures. It's that negativity bias psychologists talk about. Our brains are sort of hardwired to focus on the bad stuff.
And you see this perfectly on the golf course, or really any place where people are learning. Watch someone on a practice green, putt goes in, silence. Putt misses. There's a groan, a frown, maybe a muttered, ugh, what did I do wrong?
Yeah, I've done that.
We all have. But you rarely hear someone sink a good putt and ask, okay, what caused that? What did I do right there? This constant focus on mistakes with no positive reinforcement for success just feeds that negative loop.
And we often compound it by having these totally unrealistic expectations, like demanding perfection.
Absolutely.
Even the best players in the world miss putts. They only make, 55% of six-footers?
So something like that, yeah. It's not 100%.
They hit bad shots all the time. The average PGA Tour pro hits fewer than 13 greens per round out of 18.
Right.
Ray Floyd hit 2 in the water. Payne Stewart put 2 wedges in the water at the Masters. Ben Crenshaw once took a 13 on a hole after hitting 4 straight into the water.
Good grief.
If these absolute champions can have those moments, what hope do the rest of us have for perfection in our own stuff? It's an impossible standard.
It is impossible.
Right.
And this constant focus on the negative, plus the unrealistic expectation of perfection, it has real, measurable consequences.
Like what?
Well, obviously, anger, frustration, lower self-esteem, maybe losing the initiative to even try something.
Sure.
And increased muscle tension, which in golf or any physical activity directly messes with your performance.
Right. Tension kills fluidity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But remarkably, the impact goes even deeper. There's research using PT scans.
Brain scans.
Yeah. They found that non-depressed people, when asked to just think sad or negative thoughts, started showing neurochemical activity in the left frontal cortex of their brain.
Okay.
That's really significant because that area is involved in emotions and executive functions. And it's the same area that shows similar activity in clinically depressed people. It shows that negative thinking isn't just feeling bad, it can actually mirror the brain activity linked to depression.
Okay.
It's a powerful silent saboteur. Our thoughts aren't just fleeting ideas, they're actively shaping our biology.
Okay, that's sobering. Our inner critic isn't just annoying, it's actively hurting us, maybe even biologically.
It seems that way.
But the good news, as these champs show, is that we can change the script, right? We have the power. So if this negative self-talk is so bad, how do we rebuild it? How do we shift that focus? Because like you said, confidence is largely a choice we can cultivate.
It absolutely is a choice. And it starts with conscious awareness and then putting deliberate strategies in place.
Like what?
Well, one really interesting historical approach was Walter Hagen's. The story goes he expected to hit 7 bad shots every round.
He planned for them.
Kind of. So when he hit a poor shot, it wasn't a catastrophe, it wasn't a surprise. It was just, there's another one of the 7. And that simple mental trick stopped him from wasting emotional energy, getting tense, or losing focus over it. He
Yeah.
could just acknowledge it, okay, that's one, and move straight on.
That's incredibly clever.
Yeah.
Just reframing imperfection. But does that ever risk becoming an excuse? If someone leans into it too much?
That's a really sharp question.
Or for, say, our listeners in business, does it mean expecting a few bad meetings or failed pitches each week and just shrugging them off?
It's a crucial distinction, yeah. Hagen's approach, as I understand it, wasn't about making excuses for sloppy play or lack of effort. He still practiced like crazy.
Okay.
It was about managing the emotional reaction to the inevitable bumps in the road.
Got it.
So for the business person, yes, it means acknowledging that not every single project will be a home run. Not every pitch lands. Not every negotiation goes perfectly your way. It's about accepting that some setbacks are just part of the game, rather than taking every single minor failure personally, like it defines your entire competence. It helps you stay resilient, stay objective, instead of letting one stumble completely derail you.
That makes a lot of sense. It actually reminds me of these fascinating case studies I read once from behavioral psychology involving kids in hospitals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. One was a 10-year-old boy, badly burned. Another was a 4-year-old who had this uncontrollable vomiting, like 25, 30 times a day.
Oh, yeah. Tough cases.
Really tough. And what they observed was that most of the attention these kids got from staff, from family, came right after they showed pain or vomited.
Reinforcing the negative behavior.
Exactly. So they did an intervention, they shifted focus, they redirected attention only to healthy behavior, praising tiny improvements, playing with them when they weren't showing symptoms, and basically ignored the illness behavior as much as possible.
And what happened?
The kids showed remarkable improvement really quickly. It's just such a powerful, almost stark example. The things we pay attention to do increase in quality and frequency. What you feed attention really does grow.
That's a profound principle, and it
Yeah.
applies everywhere. Top performers actively use this. Greg Norman, for example, he talked about how he coaches himself both before and after shots.
Oh, so?
Before a tough shot, he'd deliberately pump himself up with positive self-talk. Like, this shot cold. You've knocked it stiff, meaning, really close to the hole.
Right.
1,000 times, and now you're going to do it again. Building anticipation of
Yeah.
success.
Okay.
And then after a particularly great drive, he wouldn't just ignore it. He'd say to himself, damn, Greg, I'm pretty impressed with that one.
Little self-praise.
Yeah. The goal is to consciously stamp the good ones on your mind for future reference. Build up that internal bank of positive memories, create a strong internal coach to counter that negativity bias we talked about.
Okay, so this is great. We see the why from the legends. We understand the pitfalls. How do we actually start doing this in our own lives, whether it's golf, work, whatever? Let's get practical. What are some concrete steps?
All right, let's break it down.
First one I've got here is listen in on your thinking. Just take a few minutes each day, maybe, to genuinely notice your self-talk. What's the tone? What are you saying?
Awareness is step one.
Right. And when you catch those negative patterns, I always mess this up, this is too hard, whatever it is, make a conscious decision to stop recording them in your mental logbook. Instead, only record the positive self-talk. Okay, I learned something there. Or, I handled that part well. Remember that phrase? What you feed attention grows. Starve the negative, feed the positive.
That is absolutely foundational. So many people are just completely unaware of how negative their internal chatter actually is. And once you start noticing those patterns, you can begin to actively challenge them, reframe them. So if you catch yourself thinking, ugh, I'm terrible at public speaking, You can consciously reframe it to something like, okay, I'm practicing and getting better at public speaking with every chance I get.
Nice. It's not denial, it's shifting perspective.
Exactly, towards growth, towards capability.
Okay, second strategy. Develop cues or reminders. Simple things. Put a sticky note on your monitor or a little card by your bed with a phrase like positive focus, praise self. Something you'll see daily.
Yes, these cues are surprisingly powerful. They kind of bypass the need for constant conscious effort to remember this new habit.
Like little triggers.
Yeah, they act as triggers, just pulling you back to that desired mental state throughout the day. It's like a
Oh,
little nudge from your future, more confident self.
I like that. Okay, third, review the consequences of negativity. Actively use your awareness of the downsides, the anger, the poor performance, the lower self-esteem, even those physiological effects we mentioned.
The brain activity stuff.
Yeah, use that knowledge to consciously redirect your thoughts when you feel yourself starting to spiral downwards. If you know that dwelling on that missed shot or that awkward comment will only make you feel worse and perform worse later.
That awareness becomes motivation.
Right. Motivation to choose a different thought.
This really leverages a core idea from cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT.
Hmm.
Understanding that direct link.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts, feelings, actions.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you agency. You realize, okay, maybe I can't always stop that first negative thought from popping up, but I absolutely can control whether I latch onto it and let it spiral, or if I consciously redirect my attention somewhere more productive.
Makes sense. Fourth strategy. Practice relaxation and imagery. Schedule some time daily, it doesn't have to be long, maybe just 5 or 10 minutes to visualize yourself succeeding, achieving your goals, performing at your best. This isn't just daydreaming, it's powerful mental rehearsal.
Absolutely. And to really make that imagery stick, engage all your senses. Don't just see yourself doing well.
Feel it too.
Feel the emotion of accomplishment. Hear the positive feedback, maybe. Smell the environment, if that applies. The more vivid, the more multisensory you make it, the more your brain starts to kind of believe it's already had that success. You're building those neural pathways as if it's real.
Okay, that's cool. Fifth, focus on the good. End of the day, end of the round. Whatever intentionally too. Take a minute to recall your good shots, your successes, your wins for the day. Don't just gloss over them. Actively savor them. Review them in your mind.
This is such a direct counter to that negativity bias we keep talking about.
Yeah.
It takes conscious effort because our brains tend to skip the good stuff. You know, lots of people keep a gratitude journal. This is a similar idea, but focus specifically on your performance and capabilities. By deliberately recalling successes, you're building that internal library we mentioned, making those positive references easy to access next time you face a challenge.
Love it. And finally, number 6. Keep a positive diary, but broader. Extend this beyond just golf or work. Make a habit of noting down daily accomplishments, strengths, positive interactions, anything. Review these regularly, almost like building a personal resume of success, just to reinforce that positive self-focus foundationally.
These strategies really work. I remember reading about Patrick Burke, a PGA Tour player, when his confidence dipped as he was ill. He'd actually watch videos of his past tournament wins.
Visual reinforcement.
Exactly. And if you don't have videos, just replaying those successful moments vividly in your mind, feeling that positive emotion again, maybe even saying it out loud to yourself. I handled that situation really well. It's incredibly powerful for rebuilding that belief. You're literally re-experiencing success to bolster confidence.
And, don't be shy about a little internal self-5. After a good shot or you nail a presentation point, internally tell yourself, nice one, terrific, nailed it, that was solid. Obviously, these are for your ears only, right? Not for shouting across the fairway or the office.
Right, internal validation.
But that internal validation is crucial. Be your own cheerleader.
And related to that, when someone else gives you a compliment, just say thanks. Try not to immediately negate it or downplay it, even if it feels a bit awkward at first.
Oh, that's a tough one for many people.
It is. We're often conditioned to deflect praise. Oh, it was nothing. Anyone could have done it. But that inadvertently rejects positive feedback. Accepting praise graciously.
Well, it's like changing your golf grip. It feels weird and unnatural initially,
Yeah.
but you practice it, you get used to it, and eventually it feels natural. And it actually strengthens your confidence because you're allowing yourself to fully absorb that positive reinforcement.
Okay, now here's an interesting, maybe slightly controversial point that came up in the research. Some veteran tour players apparently used to tell rookies to never blame themselves for poor play, especially if there was some obvious external factor, like a spike mark throwing the putt offline, or a bad bounce off a sprinkler head.
Interesting tactic. The idea was, protect your confidence at all costs, attribute the bad result to something outside your control, so you keep believing in your fundamental mechanics. What do you make of that? Is that a clever confidence hack, or does it risk letting people avoid responsibility for actual mistakes?
That is a fantastic question, and it really highlights the fine line we walk here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the intention protecting confidence makes sense, but then you have Sam Snead's counterpoint. Breaks always even out over the long pull, meaning good luck and bad luck tend to balance.
Right.
And Walter Hagen, as we said, just factored bad shots into his expectations.
So how do you reconcile that?
I think the key isn't about just making excuses for everything. It's about learning to distinguish objectively. Was it genuinely an external, uncontrollable factor, like a terrible bounce that doesn't really reflect on your core ability?
Okay.
Or was it actually a mechanical flaw in your swing, a poor decision, maybe a lapse in focus that you do need to address?
To be honest with yourself.
Exactly. Be objective.
Yeah.
If it truly was just a bad break, acknowledge it, maybe feel frustrated for a second, but then let it go and move on without damaging your core belief.
Yeah.
But if it was something internal, something you can control, then take responsibility, learn from it, and work on it in practice. The goal is to maintain belief in your fundamental skills while still being realistic and accountable enough to actually improve. It's about using blame strategically to foster growth, not stagnation.
That distinction feels really important for actual sustained improvement. Okay, so ultimately, it really does seem to circle back to that deep-seated belief. There's a great Rocco Mediate story.
Oh, yeah.
He found himself 6 over par after just 11 holes in a tournament once. He was totally frustrated, obviously. But then he just decided, okay, forget winning. I'm just going to try and get 2 or 3 birdies back, shoot a decent score.
Lowered the pressure.
Right, and then he just went on this incredible tear, birdied 13, eagled 16, birdied 17 and 18, finished the round at even par.
Wow, from 6 over.
Yeah. He apparently looked at his caddy, totally stunned, and just said, "What did I shoot?" And that experience, he said, completely changed his outlook. He felt like, now, no matter where I am, I know I can come back from adversity. I might not always do it, but I know I have done it.
That's powerful, having that reference point.
Exactly. It reminds me of what Larry Gilbert, another respected golf instructor, said. Confidence is 90% of the battle. If you think you can beat him, you just might.
That inner belief.
So, wow, what a journey we've taken today. We've seen that confidence, it's really not something you're just lucky enough to be born with. It's a skill. It's like a muscle you can build.
Definitely.
And it's cultivated deliberately, right?
Yeah.
Through conscious internal communication, a disciplined focus on your successes, however small, and really a proactive choice to nurture your capabilities. It's kind of about becoming your own best friend, your own most effective coach.
And if we zoom out, connect it to the bigger picture. This isn't just about sinking putts or performing under pressure in sports.
No, absolutely not.
It's really about training your brain to see possibilities everywhere, to reinforce your inherent capabilities, whatever they are, and to cultivate resilience in basically any challenge you face.
Yeah.
Whether that's, navigating a tough conversation at work, starting a new creative project, or even just trying to maintain a more positive outlook day to day. These principles give you tools. It comes back to actively choosing what you feed your attention.
Yeah.
Because that choice, ultimately, it shapes your reality and it determines your potential.
Beautifully put. And as we close out this deep dive, here's maybe a final provocative thought for you, the listener, to mull over. What single habit of self-talk will you choose to change, starting today, knowing that what you feed attention will grow?